The battle begins with fast, heavy slashes. Explosive energy shakes the ruined city as Viker fights the giant plant monster. The four-eyed flower fairy guide watches in total shock. From their hiding spot, the surviving students stare at the fight in disbelief. Vikir moves incredibly fast, easily dodging the massive vines thrown at him. The students are confused, struggling to understand the high level of combat. The system identifies the monster as the S-rank Bloodwater Plantain Lily. It is a deep abyss nightmare that floats on blood lakes. It is so dangerous that one seed almost drove humanity to extinction. Staying completely calm, Vikir dodges a deadly vine just inches from his face, tracking every move. The hidden students can't believe he survives, wondering how he dodges every single strike. Earlier in the church, Vikir prepared a large bloody sack, knowing its contents will be enough for this hunt. Pendant de Crevia notices Vikir's ruthless and calculated approach suits him well. With his preparations done, Vikir inspects the items he took from the students. Vikir sees that most of the students' boxes are deadly mimics, and the safe ones only give minor stat candies. The system identifies a small bone hoe and an oil paper pouch as D-rank artifacts. At first, he thought they were useless. However, as he checks the cheap loot, he looks surprised. He realizes that among the items is something incredibly rare he never expected to find. In his hand is a glowing silver orb. Vikir remembers from past heroes that this is a very rare hidden item. The system calls it a silver candy, which permanently increases the ultra-rare reflex stat by 1 point. Holding the candy, a confident smile appears on Vikir's face. He wonders if he is using all his luck too early, but he is now ready to fight the S-rank monster. Granui watches nervously from the rubble, whispering Viker's name. In the clearing, Vikir flips backward, perfectly dodging a thick group of vines like an acrobat. The giant plant attacks endlessly, trying to crush him with sweeping tentacles. Vikir quickly backs away, sliding across the floor to dodge a deadly bite from its huge mouth. A fierce smile appears on Vikir's face. Feeling the change, he finally understands why past heroes wanted the rare reflex stats so badly. Even 1 point of reflex completely changes his fighting skills. As he pushes his senses to the limit to dodge the attacks, he feels a huge difference in his body's reactions. The reflex stat lets his body react without thinking. His body now makes fast, automatic decisions, knowing exactly when to step, stop, or dodge before he even notices the danger. Feeling this automatic dodging, Vikir grins. Having this natural combat instinct feels just like cheating in a fight. From the ruined walls, the students watch in awe. They whisper in shock, unable to grasp how Vikir dodges everything. It looks like he can predict the monster's attacks before it moves. Despite his speed, a student tells Arthur that dodging only makes the beast angrier. As the monster snaps its jaws, they wonder how Vikir plans to kill the tough S-rank threat. Seeing a chance, Vikir jumps high above the creature. Coming down, he unleashes powerful slashes with his red aura blade, aiming at the monster's thick body. But the attack just sparks on its tough skin, leaving it unharmed. Realizing his strikes lack piercing power, Vikir's face turns serious. The monster attacks back, forcing Vikir to retreat and slide across the broken stone to dodge. The system shows his level and new titles. Checking his stats, Vikir realizes that cutting the monster's tough skin is impossible right now. Pendant de Crevia speaks up, pointing out a key detail. The artifact notes this beast is very different from the monsters Vikir fought in his past life. The pendant explains that the plant is not a purebred from hell, but a weaker, mixed version. The pure species grows by drinking from blood lakes in the underworld. Because of that, purebreds are much larger and deadlier than this creature. Being trapped in this dry place leaves the beast starving and very thirsty. De Crevia warns Vikir not to drop his guard. Even a starving S-rank monster is still deadly. He realizes the demon's real plan. They didn't put an S-rank monster here to be hunted. It is an impossible hurdle meant to cause despair. De Crevia suggests a new plan. Since he cannot break the armor, he needs to hit its one fatal weakness. That weakness is the soft flesh inside its mouth, but it only shows this spot when opening its jaws to eat. De Crevia asks if Vikir is brave enough to use that small opening. A fearless smile crosses Vikir's face. He replies confidently that using this exact moment is why he gathered the supplies in the church earlier. The fairy guide grows angry at Vikir's calm attitude. Confused by his smile, it demands to know why a human acts so arrogant against an S-rank monster. Losing its temper, the fairy orders the monster to eat Vikir completely. The giant beast instantly shoots its tentacles at him. As the tentacles fall toward him, Vikir just looks up with a calm smile, ready to execute his plan. The plant smashes its tentacles into the ground, destroying the stone floor and sending dust and rocks flying. Floating among the falling rocks, Vikir stays calm. He uses his impenetrable sacred ring. The system confirms its storage. Pocket mode is active. Reaching into the storage, Vikir pulls out the bloody sack he prepared earlier. With a strong swing, he throws it high into the air, right at the monster. The fairy guide stares in confusion. Below, the students watch in shock, unable to understand why Vikir throws a bloody bag at an S-rank beast. Blinded by hunger and the smell of blood, the monster opens its huge mouth wide to swallow the sack and the bloody limbs inside. Seeing the falling body parts, the students finally realize that the tearing sounds from the church yesterday were Viker cutting up hellhounds for bait. While the students shake at Vikir's ruthless planning, he stays focused. With glowing red eyes amid the debris, he sees his real target is finally visible. Deep inside the monster's throat, past its teeth and vines, a giant glowing purple eye is exposed. It is the creature's core and fatal weak point. Realizing the trap, the fairy shrieks in panic. It orders the monster to close its mouth and hide its eye, but the fairy soon realizes it is already too late. Jumping quickly across the moving vines, Vikir launches himself straight at the monster's mouth. Gathering his red energy, he prepares the first Baskerville sword style to strike the weak spot. With a bright red flash, Vikir stabs his aura-coated hand straight into the giant purple eye hidden in its throat. But as he pushes his energy, he grits his teeth, realizing his aura blade is too short. He quickly assesses the issue. The tower restricts his power, leaving his aura too weak. Because of this, his blade cannot reach the core deep inside the giant eye. Not wanting to lose the chance, Vikir adapts. Using his ring storage again, he pulls out two swords, the demonic Balmung and the winter sword owl. Even though dual wielding isn't his specialty, he has no choice. Vikir crosses the twin blades and coats them in his strong red aura. With deadly focus, he unleashes the fourth Baskerville sword style, the Tearing Tooth. A massive red explosion erupts inside the beast's mouth. The force of the dual sword strike completely shatters the monster's purple core into pieces. Dark blood blasts out of the monster's mouth, raining over the courtyard. Hiding behind the debris, the drenched students and the guides stare in total shock at the impossible sight. As the blood rain stops, Vikir stands victorious on the dead beast. The system announces that level 1 warrior Vikir is the first to hunt the S-rank monster. While the fairy guide cries in disbelief, the system gives out rare rewards for this impossible achievement. This is the end of the video. To watch the next part, subscribe to our channel.